be starting food science. We'll go chapter wise, and I will go per unit wise, and if you face any doubt or anything which you can't understand, you can always text me in the WhatsApp group which you know we have. So the first chapter is Introduction to Food Science and Simple Sugars. Basically this chapter is normally done in 12th standard, but I'll go through it because this is a very important chapter. As you can see in the first, we have certain definitions like, not definitions, these are the factors on which the food or all types of nutrients depend on those. So what I'll be doing is, I'll just go in brief on those factors. So the first one is food analysis and chemistry. Of course, what we do is, while we are doing any food science, or basically the food chemistry is concerned with any type of nutrient analysis, that may be carbohydrate, that may be fat, that may be lipid, that may be amino acids, that may be any other vitamins, minerals, enzymes, anything. So the chemistry behind everything is different, so we need to analyze what is the component we are dealing with now. Next, the food quality factors and their measurement. This is again one important role, and if we want to analyze anything, we have to determine the amount of that particular nutrient. So again, the measurement and the quality factors. Of course, there are many types of everything, so these types need to be understood before. The third point is nutritive aspects of food constituents and effect of processing and handling. So, for example, if we are handling carbohydrate, that needs to be done in a specific way. Again, if we are handling protein, that is done in a specific way which is different from carbohydrate. So that way the food component and handling of that particular thing depends on the food component. Next, we are coming to food microbiology, mycology and toxicology. Each and everything has an effect on us, and that the effect is based on it is in toxic level or it is in deficient level. So toxicity and then mycology or microbiology of that thing, and of course the enzymes or maybe the bacteria and other microorganisms which are present in that is important for that thing. So in that case, microbiology comes in place. Next, we come to food processing and engineering. Again, the same thing, processing of each and every nutrient is different, and that needs to be understood. We'll do the processing chapter in the later half of this subject. Food product development. Food product development is something, for example, we are doing a recipe. So that might be we are doing something with rice. So we need to know that how rice needs to be cooked. So that comes under food product development. Rice is a very easy example. There are very difficult ones and complex ones. We'll go through it in the last chapter. Commodity topics. As the name suggests, commodity topics are there are few food groups, and based on that, we differentiate it into maybe the nutrient value or maybe the amount that needs to be taken. Like for example, if we prescribe a person to have milk, then we'll prescribe 250 ml of milk for a normal person. But if we prescribe a person to have tea, in that case we won't tell that person to have 250 ml of tea. That might be 50-100 ml max to max, because of course, and this comes under commodity topics. Okay. Now coming to food safety and regulation. Now there are certain rules and regulation determined by the government, and that needs to be followed. That is because of our safety, and government has proposed those safety and regulation things because these include how we can have or how we can avail the safest food whichever is possible. Now the food industry, the last point maybe, no, the 9th point is food industry. That is an entirely different thing. If we are cooking at home or we are using any of the raw material at home, then that needs to be done in a separate manner. And if we are doing it in an industrial setup, or maybe we are doing it in a commercial setup, so that way it needs to be done in a different way. The commodities are the same, but the procedures are different due to cost, due to maybe labor and how the person are doing it. Again, one more thing comes into mind, that if we home, that is with lots of love and care of our relatives and everything, and in a commercial basis that is totally an e-commerce thing. So that way the food industry is a main factor. And coming to the last part, that is food processing unit operations. So again, it is coming to a commercial basis thing, and food processing unit operation deals with each kind of food, like whoever is doing something with the amino acid doesn't do anything with the lipids. Again, the person who, or the unit which is looking after the lipids, they don't basically do anything with the carbohydrates part. So that differs. Now coming to the next part, which is carbohydrate and the classification. As we know, carbohydrate can be classified into many numbers, like if there are number of sugars into it, that is saccharides into it. So if the number of sugar is 1, then it is monosaccharide, like glucose, galactose, fructose. Then if the number of sugar or saccharide is 2, then it is disaccharides, that is example for sucrose, lactose, maltose. Now coming to oligosaccharide, that means it might be, the number of saccharides might be from 3 to 9. So we call them oligosaccharides or any other oligosaccharides like maltodextrins, raffinose, stachyose, fructo-oligosaccharides, these type of examples. And more than 9 we call it as polysaccharide, like starch, or some non-starchy materials may be cellulose, hemicellulose, like that sort of things. In the book you will find the structures of each type of saccharides, as I have mentioned earlier, mono, oligo, disaccharide, anything. So I can't explain you the structures over in the video, you have to find it in the study material. Now there are some type of sugars like aldose sugar and ketose sugar. So if we, I can't explain it over here, but if we go through it in the book, there is a table given where you can differentiate between the aldose sugar and the ketose sugar. Go through, in this part I will tell you, go through it, and if you face any doubt, you can come back to me in the WhatsApp group, because I can't explain it in this way, but I can write and explain it to you, and that can be done in the WhatsApp group if you can't understand this. I know it's a bit difficult in online mode, but we can't help because COVID is doing a mess in our life. Okay, then the next part which are coming is the classification of sugar. As I have told earlier, these are just the types of saccharides or maybe the number of saccharides which are which are the main factor to differentiate amongst this. There might be pentose sugar, there are ribose sugar, then xylose, arabinose, hexose, glucose, all these types of things. Now coming to the functional role of sugars. So the first thing which comes into our mind is sweetness. Nothing to explain. Sugars are the primary sweeteners we use from our birth. So that is the one of the functional role. Then we are coming to texture. Sugars make an important contribution to the texture of the food, commonly referred as the mouthfeel. So if we are having sugar, say if we will have the normal sugar which we eat, that becomes a mouthful of us, not like other products, other food items, but we feel it. It fills our stomach, it fills our mouth, and this is a very comfortable emotion of ours. So now coming to preservation. Normally what happens, if we cook something with extra sugar, the shelf life of that food exceeds. And that way it can be considered as a preservative. Fermentation. Sugar does not only mean as the sweet sugar that we eat, it is also the saccharide, that is the carbohydrate part. And in case of fermentation, carbohydrate fermentation is something which is very much common in food, like idli, or maybe the batter of dosa, or maybe sometimes which we Bengalis normally eat, we call it pitha. That is also a type of fermented carbohydrate. So that is also a functional quality or functional role of sugar. Then the appearance. See, if we want to make a plate full with food, and that can only be done with carbohydrates. So this is also one more functional role of a sugar. There are two types of reactions which normally happens, like one is Maillard reaction and one is caramelization. Caramelization is used to decorate items or sometimes even changing the color. That comes under the appearance. So when we boil sugar in high heat and it becomes a brown thing, brown jelly-like thing, that is what we call caramelization, which is very commonly used in many types of desserts. And what is Maillard reaction? That is reaction of aldehyde and ketone groups of sugar with amino acids, commonly the peptides and the proteins which are there, independent of the presence of oxygen. Okay. Apart from that, there is a diagram given. You can just go through it, but you need not mug up that diagram, because I have never seen that diagram coming in examination if it is examination purpose. But if you want to learn, of course, you can study that. Now coming to freezing points. Sugars are effective in lowering the freezing point of a solution, which is important in manufacturing frozen desserts and ice cream products. Monosaccharides and corn syrups contain a high proportion of low molecular weight sugars and most effective at lowering the freezing point. This property ensures smaller ice crystals and greater smoothness of the product. The next thing is antioxidant activity. Many carbohydrates have antioxidant activities. That is, it acts as an oxidizing agent, like glucose, fructose and sugar alcohols. They have high ability to block the reactive sites of the ions such as copper, iron and lesser extent cobalt. Cobalt is a very rare thing in our food, but copper and iron is there in our food and it helps in blocking the reactive sites over there. And there are some other applications, like in case of custard and puddings and meringues, icing. These things we will do it in the salt gel chapter. Okay. Coming to the sweetening part, we use carbohydrate as sweeteners also, as artificial sweeteners. Normally, which we call sucralose. Basically, all are not sucralose. There are different types. There might be cyclamate, alletane, saccharin. Saccharin is also common. Aspartame. These all are types of artificial sugars or sweeteners. But the structures are there in the book. But this is artificially created to again increase the sweetening effect. But of course, this is not pure carbohydrate. This is again man-made, and of course this is not so healthy. I would not prescribe artificial sweeteners to any of the person, not even a diabetic person, because these actually causes health defects in us. So by this way we complete the first unit. In the next video we'll come to the second unit. Thank you.